So Hillary Clinton admitted to something that perhaps she shouldn't have. This was in an interview with CNN.
There isn't anybody left, but I think what Joe's victories on Super Tuesday showed is that he is building the kind of coalition that I had, basically. It's a broad-based coalition. I finished, most of the work I needed to do for the nomination on Super Tuesday, and then it kind of lingered on. And I think Joe is on track to doing exactly the same thing, putting together a coalition of voters who are energized.
That is unintentionally revealing right there. What happened with your coalition, Hillary? How did that work out? How did that work out? Answer, it didn't. You lost. So, listen, she doesn't even realize it, but she's warning about what's going to happen with Joe Biden. But she doesn't even realize it. She thinks she's giving him like a compliment. It's like my coalition, strong strong that ended up losing to Donald Trump, the most disliked candidate in American history. But yeah, and minor details. Yeah, he's looking a lot like me. And by the way, the point about energized, nothing could be further from the truth. I told you guys from day one, Joe Biden support is what I call default support. And that is what it is. Now, what I was wrong about is I thought they would disperse over time. And they did briefly, but they came right back as soon as the establishment coalesced. As soon as Mayor Pete and Amy Klobuchar and Beto O'Rourke endorsed Biden the day before Super Tuesday and sent out that bat signal to the media, and the media ran, oh my God, Joe Biden, oh my God, he crushed in South Carolina, and now everybody loves him, and now he's inevitable, and he's going to win, and oh my God, yeah, Joe Biden, yes. Soon as that happened, totally changed the narrative, totally changed the game, and he started doing really, really well, but he needed all the king's horses and all the king's men to even just get that default support. These people who are supporting Biden, many of them, he was not their first choice. He was not their first choice. And this is, as I've detailed and many others have as well, this is the revenge of the normie Democrat. This is the older liberal. This is the suburbanite. This is the rural white voters. They fell into place. They fell in line after a media onslaught and the establishment coalescing. So it's not energized. It's quite the opposite. A lot of these people were late deciders. They broke towards Biden, and the only reason they did it is because they're convinced, well, I've been told a million times over, this is the dude who can beat Trump. Bernie can't because he's too pie in the sky. So that's what I'm going to do. I want to defeat Trump. I'll go with Biden. I'm not kidding, guys, when I say, and to be fair, there's no data showing this because nobody would ask such a question. But, I think that at least 20% of the people who supported Biden haven't heard him speak recently at all. And if they did, they'd be like, oh my God, what's happened? So, and some people responded to me on Twitter like, you're being too kind. It's over 30%, I'd say. Yeah, I'm saying minimum 20%. Minimum 2 out of 10 have not heard him speak recently. So, man, I will say this about what Hillary said here. She had a much bigger lead over Bernie after Super Tuesday than Biden has over Bernie. Hillary had a much bigger lead over Bernie after her Super Tuesday than Biden has over Bernie now. So the race is a lot closer than it was, but what I will say is I don't like the strategy I've seen from Bernie's team post Super Tuesday. He's doing a couple things right, like micro-targeting ads on trade and Social Security where necessary, but I don't like the other stuff he's doing. And the polls in the upcoming states are not looking good. In the case of Hillary versus Bernie in 2016, Bernie won on Super Tuesday 2. He won on Super Tuesday 2. He got more delegates than Hillary did on Super Tuesday 2. But unfortunately, right now the polls show Biden is going to get more delegates, more support than Bernie on Super Tuesday 2. So, guys, we were right at the doorstep. And you got to push through and you got to fight as hard as you can and you got to run through the tape. But as of right now, I'd be lying to you guys if I said the situation is rosy. But it's kind of amazing how this is all put together with bubblegum. You know? That's all it is. I will leave you on a point of hope, though. I will leave you on a point of hope. And here's that point. In 2016, after Hillary Clinton got destroyed in New Hampshire and Bernie crushed in the vote count, the new Hillary documentary, her staffers are open and honest about a lot of it, and they go like, oh my God, Bernie Sanders is going to be the nominee. Bernie Sanders is going to win. So, and there were other moments too where they were like, oh, we're going to lose. So the reason I tell you that is to say this. They really are holding it together with bubblegum and duct tape. They're barely scraping by. Everything is biased against Bernie. Everything. Mainstream media, you know, the corporate candidates, the moderators in the debates, everything. And he's still basically tied with Biden at the moment. So think about the colossal effort and organization it took just to be tied. So they're scared. They don't think anything is guaranteed. They don't. And it's always been razor thin and really close. No matter how much they want to try to take the wind out of your sails and act like, don't even try, it's not even worth it, it's not even necessary, don't even try. Just know, they don't know how this is going to unfold. And one of the issues that I see oftentimes with the left is, and I'm guilty of it just like everybody else, is when things don't go our way right away, we want to take our ball and go home. And we want to be like, well, what's the point? It's rigged against us anyway. We're never going to win here, so what's the point? But the reality of the situation is, the corporatists don't think that. They're scared to death of us. And they think, yes, of course they could win. Look at them. So we need to have as much faith in what we're doing as the opposing side does, because they're taking our threat very seriously, and that's why they have to go all in and piece everything together and use all the king's horses and all the king's men and the duct tape and the bubble gum. They need to do that to try to barely drag Biden across the finish line. So that's the good news. The good news is it's close. It's always been close, and we can't afford the luxury of defeatism, and we're always going to have to come back and live to fight another day no matter what happens, whether we win or lose. So that's the good news. But this was very telling. This was a very telling moment from Hillary. It was. Because it's her accidentally admitting, like, yeah, this dude, his coalition is like mine, which is a losing coalition. Well, thank you very much. I've never heard a stronger case for Bernie.